How you doing? So today's ability rating is Nebula. So I just made ability rating on Diablo. I have a playlist for Diablo if you want to check it out. I will also have a playlist for Nebula. I currently do actually. I just made one. So if you want to check out Nebula gameplay, I have a playlist for her. So as if you don't know this, Kabam came up with this ability rating system. So this is just kind of like I'm coming up with my own ability rating system. If you guys disagree about it, tell me the reason why in the comment section below. A bit disappointed YouTube just removed the dislike button, so I don't know if you don't like my video or not. So if you don't like the video, write in the comment section below why you don't like the video. So let's start. So when it comes to Kabam's ability rating system, there's four different categories. There's damage, um, sustainability, ease of use, and utility. So let's start with what people want to know mostly about is damage. Damage when it comes to Nebula, let's start with unawake without running liquid courage and double edge. From now on, I'll be calling it Suicide Masteries. So if you're not running Suicide Masteries, her damage is about a 4 out of 5 point scale. Just to let you know, when it comes to the point scale, it's going to be a total of 5 max. So 4 out of 5 for damage when it comes to if you're not running Suicide Masteries with Nebula. If you are running Suicide Masteries but you don't have her awakened, her damage is about a 4 or a 5, probably closer to a 5. But if you are have her awakened, or especially at max sig, she gains a little bit of increased damage because she has a power gain. That means she could throw SP2 faster or get to SP3 faster. Her damage is a 5 for sure. With my unawakened 6-star rank 3 Nebula, I've been able to solo Act 6 Hyperion, over 200,000 health in 32 seconds. Okay, and for some reason I end up deleting it. I know I've been trying to match that time or even go faster. Even I haven't been able to do it, and I know I can actually do it faster, probably at least 2 or 3 seconds faster, maybe even 5 seconds faster than that. But as you could see, over 200k as a 6-star rank 3, not a 6-star rank 4, 6-star rank 3, can do over 200k damage in less than 30 seconds. With practice and luck, I guess. But yeah, her damage is definitely a 5. No question about that. Assuming the opponent is not shock immune, keep that in mind, or they can shrug off debuffs. So her damage is 5. And when it comes to sustainability, that's pretty tricky, but let's just look at her ability. So when it comes to sustainability, Nebula has 3 immunities. He's immune to bleed, poison, and shock. That means she can run liquid courage and double edge. And what is this? She also has a self-repair regeneration. So what it says is Nebula begins each fight with 3 indefinite self-repair charges. When she runs out, she will gain another after 10 seconds. Each time the opponent deals more than 110% of their attack rating in a single hit, Nebula will spend 1 charge to gain a self-repair buff, recovering the damage dealt over 5 seconds. If stunned while the self repairs is active, it is lost. So you gotta be careful that you don't get stunned when you're regenerating. So basically, if your opponent crits, it's what it's saying, you're gonna be able to regen the health back. And the good thing about the self repair is, and its charges are immune to ability accuracy reduction. That means like nothing that can modify her regeneration to make it less. So that's a really good thing about her. And you can arguably, I've have a couple of gameplay where solo Hyperion with 100% health, taking 3 SP2s with a rank 2 6-stars, and then 4 SP2 with a rank 3 6-stars. So and still finish with 100% health. So arguably, she could be the most sustainable champion in the game when you considering she has three immunities and she can her regen is pretty insane in the right fight. it just depends. You could easily be I want to say easily, but if there's any champion I can give a 6 to when it comes to sustainability, she could be Nebula. If I can give one or two champions a 6 for sustainability, but that's not gonna be the real case in most scenarios. So it's gonna be anywhere from a 4 to a 5 when it comes to her sustainability. So I'm gonna, and the thing is, she doesn't really regen unless she gets hit. So that's probably another downfall of her. That's why I'm only gonna give her a 4 when it comes to sustainability. When it comes to, and she doesn't need her awaken ability. This is the good part when it comes to her sustainability. So when it comes to ease of use, it really depends on how you use Nebula. Before she got buff, her ease of use was definitely a 2, because to maximize her potential, you had to hold heavy and it took forever, like the charges. Now they reduced the amp charge for her to actually, be able to gain amp charges. They used to call shark charges, now it's called amp charges. So it's kind of like it went from a 2 to a 3 if all you do was hold heavy to get to that SP2 and then do that massive damage. But what is this? You don't even have to play that style, because her buff, it allows her to go to SP3. Let me show you. Nebula gains a weapon overcharge passive lasting 25 seconds. While active, Nebula has a 65% chance to gain an amp charge when making contact with the opponent. While active, any contact with the opponent has the 75% chance to inflict a shock. So if the opponent is hitting you or you're hitting the opponent, that's gonna give the opponent shock, a 75% chance while you have that active. So it's really good because it makes it a lot easier to, go to SP3 and then SP2. You don't have to worry about holding block. In some cases, you can do more damage doing SP3 or SP2 because you can gain more shock charges on the opponent. So I say, if you go with SP3 to SP2 route, her ease of use is pretty much a 5. But if you just start constantly, like, just likes to hold heavy all the time, then her ease of use is gonna go up to a 3. But like, if you take the average of the two, you're just gonna say it's a 4. Her ease of use will be a 4. Now let's talk about utility. Another thing that Nebula has is her utility. If any champion, if I can pick one or two champions in the game that could have a 6 in utility, it could be Nebula. I mean, her utility is at very minimum a 5. So when it comes to her awaken ability, it's definitely a plus. It's an extra utility. She gains a combat power rate, but it's not necessary. I think that's the best part about her. But even without it, let's just say even without her awaken ability, her utility is still a 5. That's how good Nebula's utilities are. Obviously, if you want to count the triple immunities as utility, that's definitely gonna make her that's definitely one of her best qualities. She has a regeneration. She has damage over time when it comes to shock debuffs. Also, what else? So what else? It says somewhere right here. Amp each amp charges. So it's basically shock charges. They're calling it amp charges. The opponent's ability accuracy by it reduces ability accuracy by 20% if they are robots. So she's a very good counter against robots. And if you actually, when you see people in war, you really pretty much want to use Nebula against robots, or really any contest, because she's so powerful against robots. She can reduce their ability accuracy pretty much to 0. And she's just great counter for, like, especially problematic fights like Nimrod, Guillotine 99. Those are problematic fights, but with Nebula, the ability to reduce their ability accuracy, pretty much reduce it to 0, she just makes those fights really easy. So that's one of her best qualities as well. Obviously, she has damage over time. Oh yeah, her special attack 1 is underestimated too, because in the right fight she can pretty much keep opponents like in 0 bar power. So let me read it. 100% chance to inflict a power lock debuff lasting 1 second per shock on the opponent, and you can get like 40 plus shock on the opponent. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you can get up to 40 shocks on the opponent, maybe even more. That's like 40 seconds that you can keep your opponent power lock. So, and then 100% chance to inflict a power drain, depleting 12% of a bar of power per shock debuff on the opponent. So before she got a buff, it was really hard to, I don't even think if it's possible to be able to drain all max power from an opponent before she got buffed. Now it's actually pretty easy. You know, if you go with the SP3 to SP1 route, you can pretty much have the opponent power lock the entire time. SP3 to SP1, you know, because you can maybe last up to 4 seconds, 40 seconds, opponent being power locked. And then you, what is this? Then you cycle with the SP3 again, then to SP1. So you can have your opponent with like 0 bar power the whole fight. The only problem I would have with that is it's not going to be in every fight. It's not gonna be very easy for it to be accomplished. That's the only thing I would say for. But I do think it's useful when it comes to her special attack one, and it's underrated because I think it's just difficult to have in most fights, at least. So obviously, when it comes to SP2, she does and really she was known before even before she got even before she got buff, she was known for her SP2 because of her damage, and this can do some serious damage. So let me just go over her utility. She's definitely a 5 even without her awaken ability. She has a what is that? She can inflict shock on an opponent after the SP3. What else? Massive shock damage on SP2, power block, and power drain on SP1. Inflict shock with heavy attack. What else? Can probably another very important utility she has. She can reduce opponent by 100%. Right. That's really another powerful thing she has. What else? She has regeneration, triple immunity. And that's already makes her utility a 5. And then her awaken ability, just another utility she has, gives her combat power rate. So I really like Nebula. So let me just go over the scores for her. So damage, I give her a 5. When it comes to what is this? Ease of use, sustainability, I give her a 4. When it comes to ease of use, I give her a 4. And when it comes to what is this? Utility, she definitely gets a minimum of a 5. So what is that? 18 points total. So what do you think about the ability rating system? Do you like it? You don't? If anything you don't like in this video, comment below the reason why you don't like anything in this video. All right. Thank you.